beast, man, you fumbling furball. That's not the right Thundertank.
Oh, it doesn't come out till 2022 and it's $450, Skeletor. Oh.
$450? We got all of Snake Mountain for only $600. I can't afford that.
Oh, Skeletor. I got mine.
Curse you, He-Man!
Geek Dad Live presents Toy Geeks, a live toy talk show. Tonight we're going to talk about that big Thundertank reveal from Super7, as well as all the other great stuff they unveiled this past week. We're also going to talk about all of the fantastic reveals from Hasbro's big Star Wars Fan First Friday event. And we're also going to talk about Hasbro announcing that sweet Fortnite Snake Eyes. All of that and more tonight on Toy Geeks. I did it again. Hey everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, is John. John, how you doing tonight?
I am good. How are you, Jay?
Or should I say, Beastman? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Wasn't as good as Skeletor.
Curse you, He-Man!
That's a really good Skeletor.
That's a lot of time playing with my kids. They love Skeletor, so that's just me being Skeletor when we play.
Mm-hmm.
So. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the little intro. I was kind of curious how it would work with the live show, because generally people come in as it starts. So if you missed it, go back to the beginning. But we had a fun cold open to start the show, and excited, like big news week for toy collectors out there.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. A lot of the companies that would probably be showing this stuff at Toy Fair, kind of showing it on their own, because Toy Fair is digital this year. So interest. It's again the pandemic world. Everything's topsy-turvy. Everything's a little bit different, but still a lot of cool stuff to dig through this week. But how are you doing, John? How's your week of toys going?
It was good. It was another successful week. 2 weeks in a row of good finds. I feel like there's going to be like a real lull, this coming week. I got a bad feeling.
Hey, you got to enjoy the times when the toy hunting is going
exactly.
Well. To sustain you through the dry spells of toy
exactly
hunting.
How was it for you? We didn't really talk about our pickups much this week.
No, it was pretty good. I'm trying to, as I was putting this stuff together, trying to remember what I talked about last week, what was this week. I mean, there was so much stuff last week that this week wasn't going to be as many, but I definitely got some things that I'll be showing in our toy hauls for this week. One of those things was I was finally able to get the Kenner Classics Ghost Popper. I posted up a video review earlier this week, so definitely check it out on the channel if you haven't already, and drop that like if you haven't yet. But anywho, that was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. I think the Ghost Popper turned out really, really well, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also got, and I don't even have it here, darn it. I got the Plasma Series Ecto 1, which I want to do a video review on, but apparently there's two significant versions of the Plasma Series Ecto 1. There's the ones that I got, which is the non-charcoaled version. There's one that's like super charred, like it looks like it was burnt in the front. And
really?
I'm trying to find that one, because to me, I think it's a more compelling video to talk about those two different versions. And, is there anything that can, and they're apparently mixed in the same shipper box together. So I'm kind of digging into that and trying to find out more information about the Plasma Series Ecto 1, because one, I think, looks pretty good. It's a nice toy. The other one, I think, looks like crap, and you don't know which one you're going to get.
So there's no difference on the outside box.
No, the box looks, well, as far as we know. And that's why I'd like to find one to see if maybe there's a serial number difference, or if it's really just a factory difference between the two. I don't know. I do not know, but that's what I'm kind of working on right now. I really want to explore why that is. All right, let's go to the chat. A lot of people here already. Todd Smith. Hello, John and Jay. Hello, Todd. Good to see you. Jason. Dropped a comment like 2 hours early. I don't think he's been waiting here 2 hours, but he probably saw it when we posted it. But yes, MOTU figures from the 1980s possible. Anything is possible, Jason. And Landros 554, happy Sunday, Geek Dad Life, and greetings from Frosty, Chicago. I made the executive decision to sell one of my kidneys to afford to buy the Thundertank. Yeah, that was a bit of a gut punch. Once you see it, and it's like, all right, yeah. And then the price, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's spendy. It's real spendy.
Yeah, I was immediately. But we'll talk about it more once we get into that section of the show. Scott D, I'm good with $5.99 for the 1/64 Hot Wheels Thundertank. Yes, that's a lot more affordable for sure. A little bit smaller though, a little bit smaller. CAF is in the house, everyone. I'm just chilling here in the lounge area waiting to talk toys. Well, hey, we're here. We're ready now. Garage Gamer, what's up, Garage Gamer? This is a question I think I guys got to ask the chat maybe throughout the night. The new MLB The Show 21 has my current favorite player, Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be on the cover, and I want to play that game. And I don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation, one of the new ones. So what should I get? PlayStation or the Xbox? I haven't had anything besides a Nintendo in forever. So let me know in the chat. Adam Smedberg, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Adam. Nightmare, good evening. Todd Smith, PD Dubs. Hey-o, PD Dubs, good to see you. Let's see, I think there was Ray Belmont. Where is he here? Oh man, I like jumped up. Ray Belmont, Bullwinkle, Jay Griffiths. Damn, that's a great spell there. Thank you. Again, that's all just playing with my kids. They make me do that one and they make me do the Muppets. I try to do as many Muppet characters as possible. Thundercats Ho, let the feline frenzy commence. Can't wait for today's show. Indeed. Big week for Thundercats fans if you got the cash. Colleen, my wife, is here. Hello, Colleen. And PD does, and my wallet through 2020 was tough for toys. We'll wait till 2022 or whenever we have to put a down payment on this vehicle. Garage Gamer, I think 2021 toys will be better than 2020. I have a feeling. I think so, because there's a lot of stuff that's been pushed back from 2020. We still haven't even seen. You know, Ghostbusters is one of those lines. There's a whole bunch of toys that we were shown at Toy Fair last year that we still haven't seen. Master Hoarder is here. PD Dubs, how about that new WandaVision episode? So good. I agree. First 2 episodes, I don't know if you saw our Screen Geeks, John, but I was like,
Yeah. I'm on the fence about the first.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm on the fence about the first couple episodes, but I haven't watched Fridays.
Well, it will. I don't want to spoil nothing, but I think it'll change it'll get you off the fence. It'll get you off the fence. See, Adam, I think I got the well done version of the Ecto. Again, they haven't hit retail here yet. I got them online. But I'd like to buy a couple to try and find the burnt one, just to see if there's anything else there. P-Dubs referenced the Pixel Dan interview with Flynn. I have a link to that video in the description below, and we'll cover a little bit of that as well. It's a great interview. Definitely check that out. Let's hear some of the Muppets. Hi, it's Kermit the Frog here. There you go. There's a little bit of it. And then Fozzie Bear. Oh, you want me? I can't do it right now. It's on the spot.
Under pressure.
I only could do a 1/12 scale vehicle for $20. I know. But again, that's a much larger production. Again, we'll get into that. Shannon Griffin is in the house. If you're hanging until the end of the show, he made a really cool custom Scareglow that I want to show everybody. He did a really good job with it. Adam is right. PS5 exclusive. Well, Garage Gamer, you can follow him on Instagram. He wants me to go Xbox, mainly because he's on Xbox and we could play against each other. But I haven't done any online gaming. I'm a loser. I don't know how to do these.
No, I'm strictly Xbox. I haven't.
Yeah, you're
I haven't
Xbox?
I haven't had a PlayStation since probably 1997.
I haven't done PlayStation since the 2. But I've been Xbox since, and mainly because I hated the PlayStation controllers, but those new PlayStation controllers look cool. But anyway, neither here nor there. But if all my friends are on Xbox, then I got to stay in the Xbox universe. Let's see. KJ Smith in the house. Nightmare says, unfortunately, I got the charcoal version of the Ecto 1. That is a bummer. And let me you talk for a second, John. I'm gonna show you
All right.
so you can
All
see.
right. So I'm curious about the Ecto One on the boxes, because on a lot of other products, typically around the UPC code, it's almost like a stamp that's into the cardboard of the box. So I'm curious if that stamp might be different for two different Ectos. So if anybody that's out there that did get that well done one, like look on the box around the UPC, and you might have to turn the box and shine it in the light a certain way,
Mhm.
and you'll see like a code that's stamped into the cardboard itself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the differences are stamped into the box and not necessarily like in ink.
Yeah. And that's why I like to have them in hand so I can like see it.
Yeah.
Some investigative journalism, the name of toys.
Because otherwise it's going to be like Trap Jaw, where everybody's just buying multiples to try and find that the arm variant that they want.
And so this is mine. This one is it's a lighter version, and it's kind of more rusty in the front. But the charcoal ones are like black to here, and then it starts to fade off. And it doesn't look anything like the Ecto one in the trailer. Like this looks pretty close. Now, again, I whenever I do the review, I'll comment on how they could have done some more paint apps here because it's really kind of plain in the front.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's really good. It is really good. But yeah, still, it's lame that didn't go that way. All right. Good to check in with everybody. It is now time to check in with our latest toy hauls. John, did you start last week?
Yeah.
You start? Okay, that means I have to start. Okay. Well, I just showed it, so it is. I take it to Plasma Series Ecto one. I do plan to review it on the channel, but I think I want to try and find the charcoal version to include and really talk about the differences and maybe comment on that a little bit. But excited to get this in hand, mainly because the first images, it was the super charcoaled one. And I was like, that kind of looks lame. And it sold out in 5 seconds online, which was another really, if I have to hit the button here, another, Target or Walmart exclusive online that sold out in seconds. But they've been making a lot of them because it came back online and I was able to order it like last week. So it came this week. So that is the first one. And then I was able to just today we were at Target and I found the mini Masters of the Universe figures.
Oh, cool.
So I remember we were talking, world's smallest or action micro figures. So they had the Skeletor. They didn't have He-Man, but they had Battle Cap and the Tila. Pretty cool. They're super cheap. It's like $5 or whatever. So that's cool. Even though it's like maybe that's expensive for a little thing like this. Maybe it was.
Yeah. But they fit in the Land Shark, right?
So that's okay. That's what I really wanted to try here on the show today. So let's switch to the other camera of mine and let's see if it does fit. All right. So here is the Land Shark, the Hot Wheels Land Shark. And here's the Skeletor. The only problem is there's no articulation in the legs, so he just kind of lays there.
It's sort of like the G the G1, the original one.
The original, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it scales well.
Yeah, it does.
So if you're sitting, like if you have it displayed, like he's standing in front of it or something, it kind of works. But they do scale with those Hot Wheels. I don't even know what they're calling them. But it is a bummer. Like again, it could have just been a little articulating point. Where's the camera? There's the camera. In the leg, because the arms articulate and the head articulates. But man, if the legs just could have went like that, it would have been perfect.
Maybe heat them up in a little bit of hot water and just bend it over.
Position.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, that was a fun pickup. And then I talked about it last week. I didn't open them though. But the Jake the Snake and Mr. T, Masters of the WWE Universe figures came in. A lot of fun. I mean, the Mr. T is just. Oops, sorry, where am I? There we go. Mr. T is so much fun. Just like this, I freaking love him.
He looks awesome. That's the one that I want the most.
He is just so freaking cool. But the Jake the Snake was a surprise. One, because I was a big fan of him as a kid. My great grandmother and I used to watch wrestling when she used to watch me. She was 94 and loved wrestling. But Jake the Snake was always a favorite. The Hasbro Jake the Snake was a favorite of mine as a kid. But what really impressed that I didn't realize this figure did, just shows you like how out of touch. The face comes off, and you may have knew this, John, but I didn't know it. But it's a pretty good looking likeness on the face. And then the face comes off to reveal the snake face.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
Hey, that's awesome. That came out great. And again, it doesn't look wonky with the face like King Hiss did back in the day. But anyway, I that was really impressive. And again, I was just like, that was a favorite as a kid, so I need Jake the Snake. But anyway, that turned out really well. And then let's see and then Cro-Mag had some old school Imperial dinosaurs. So I love back when we called them brontosauruses, completely non-accurate dinosaurs. So that was cool. And we talked about it last week when we were anticipating the Thundertank. And so, like, should we get some of these Thundercats figures before they blow up in price? And I think maybe the first teaser picture or something, I chickened or I balked or whatever, and I did pick up both Lino and Panthro figures on eBay. So I got them. They're here. And this was before I knew it was $450, and now I feel like I'm ahead of my skis a little bit.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Oh man! All right, so there are my pickups. John, what did you pick up this?
All right. So thanks to our friend Gary,
he
found me a classified Viper, which is a nice surprise.
Nice.
And then he found me the Earth 22 Robin from the Merciless wave.
Oh man, you were saying you couldn't find that.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to give up on trying to build the Merciless altogether because of trying to find Robin. So when he texted me from the store, from Target, and he said, "Isn't this the Robin you were talking about?" I'm like, "Yep." Thank you. So then we met this week and did the trade at a Target again. So then while we were at that Target, I did it again. I bought another pop. This is a bad habit. But anyway, it's Dwight as the Scranton Strangler.
I love that. It's John. I'm starting to worry about you. You're going down the slippery slope.
This is a bad path I'm taking. That first one was the gateway. So then earlier this week on Monday, I went to Walmart just to check some things out in the morning.
Yeah,
and I found the new Death Metal Batman with the sickle.
Ooh,
That's pretty badass figure. So that was just kind of sitting up top, like in the storage area above all the figures. And then there was a Batman from the White Knight series.
Yep.
So then I decided, well, I'll scan the prices because, everybody that's listening knows what my Walmart's prices are like. It's either, they're giving it away or it's $1 million. Luckily, I was on a giving it away kind of week. So I scanned this guy and he rang up for $3.
Stop it. $3?
Yeah. So I was questionable. So I brought that figure and then the Death Metal Batman to the electronics for them to scan it for me. And she scanned it and she scanned the Death Metal Batman first and she's like, oh, it's $19.99. Then she scanned the other one for me And she goes, "Damn, $3. I should go get one. I should go one for myself."
What is going on?
I don't know.
Get it for $3.
Yep.
Wow.
So then on that same string of my Walmart's logic,
yeah,
the Mega Constructs Point Dread and the set with Point Dread and Zodak, Templar Darkness Sorceress, Skeletor with Panther. It's been slowly coming down at my Walmart, and it was in the clearance section for like $28.
Yeah.
And I had scanned it a bunch of times. Every time I go, I scan it with the app. So then, what was it? Friday night, I got an alert that said there was another price drop on it. So I checked, I opened up the app and it said $5 for the set. So I'm like, ooh, I'll go check it out. So we went first thing Saturday morning, and sure enough, I brought it to a register to have them scan it, and it came up $5. So, yep.
Dang. Wow.
And it still says 27 and 30 cents. 27 and 30 cents.
How much was that set originally?
60. I think it was $59.99.
$59.99 to $5.
Yep. So yes, I did the shameless thing that dealers do, and I bought all 12 that they had
for $5. I can't do too bad for that.
And then while I was in that clearance department, they had the Black Widow, Walmart exclusive Black Widow, $2.
Dang.
With the sticker says 15.
Wow.
So there was 4 of them sitting there, so I bought all 4.
Wow.
You bet I did.
That's nuts. That's insane. Well, you sell toys for a living, so I'm not going to beat you up too bad. Ray Belmont says, John, can we see the MOTU set again, please? That's a cool, because you got the Temple of Darkness Sorceress. That's exclusive, right? And then
you get a weapons rack
in that set
as well.
The what?
You get the weapons rack as well, with the blue weapons. And then Zodak, Battle Armor Skeletor with Panther. And then Point Dread with a Talon Fighter. And that does connect to Castle Grayskull.
That's awesome. Did you ever get Castle Grayskull?
No, I didn't. I wish I did when that was on clearance, because that got clearance on Amazon for $50. But then it went back into production. They reproduced them again after they went on clearance. And now they are going for like $300 for that set.
That's nuts. That is nuts. Ray-Ban, look, very cool, man. What a steal. Gamaliel. Awesome deals, John. Greetings from Mexico. Just BW says, John, I'll give you $6 plus shipping for one of those Point Dreads. If I know you're just gonna hold on to them until they eventually appreciate, right? Like you'll just kind of
they go into inventory, into the stuff that I just wait for it to go back up. Small investments. I'm not GameStop investing here. I'm not making that kind of money.
Oh man, my buddy Caesar's in the house. Hello, Caesar. Now Caesar and I, actually Caesar's a bit of a Comic-Con pro, but the reason why I'm able to get so many great Comic-Con exclusives is really because Caesar's on the money. He has it all mapped out. He usually gets in line super early, and then I'll go get in line with him as well. But just an absolute pro when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con. We have our own Toy Geeks talk show as we're waiting in line at Comic-Con anytime. So good to see Caesar in the house. Master Horse says, "Grats on the Viper." That's a tough one out of that set. Unagi's in the house. Good to see you, Unagi. John and Jay in MOTU News, the Crystal Clear Skeletor from Intel Creations start shipping this weekend. Looks awesome. Actually, Caesar sent me a picture of that. We'll talk about that in the news section. And $5 for Point Dread is a steal. Yes, that is a steal. But $3 for that. I mean, steals across the board. Adam says, I was shocked to come across the Walmart and Casey and Raph 2-pack. Didn't think they were still in production. They did another wave of those when they were doing pre-orders for the Toka and Razor and Super Shredder. I think they did another run of them.
Mhm.
Shannon says, thanks for heads up on Ecto being in stock at Target. Just grab one online. Very good. Hey, Shannon, if yours is the burnt one, let me borrow it for like a few days for my video things. All right. Let's see. Don't tell Jay how awesome it looks. He might get jelly. Hey, listen, I admit that I passed on the crystal clear Skeletor. Because what was it, $50? I don't know. How much was it?
Yeah, it was 50
bucks.
Which in hindsight is a damn good price.
Well, yeah, and because now, is it $300 second?
Yeah, like 250 to 300. It'll go down a little bit though.
Yeah, once they start to actually ship. So anyway, that's fine. That's fine. All right, there it is. There's our latest hauls. And let me see. Did I think I put the news music back in? I did. Okay, here we go. It's time. Now it's time for the latest toy news. All right. It was at the header of our show. Super7 did their, what was it, Super 7 days of teasers or something like that, whatever they called it. And as we expected, as has been teased for a little while now, I think we talked about it 3 weeks ago for the first time on this show, that teaser where they had the little GIF of the Thundertank. It was like, oh, are they going to do it? Is this going to happen? Yes, no, it actually happened. They're or at least going to try to make a Thundertank, and it is insane. It's gigantic. I didn't even thinking about it in my mind, a 7-inch scaled Thundertank would be huge, but even as I pictured it in my mind, I didn't expect it to be as big as it is. And you know, if you haven't seen the Pixel Dan interview, there's a link in the description below, but I'm sure if you're watching this, you're probably all subscribed to Pixel Dan. But it is a good interview. He does kind of show it, and I do have a few pictures from it, but really go check out his video for, you know, a lot of those different shots and details. But it's nuts. So it measures 27 inches long and 17 inches wide. Compared to 6 Thundercats Ultimates figures, so that's 6 7-inch scale figures. And the pre-order will drop February 2nd through April 2nd in 2021 for $450 plus shipping.
Yep, it's a $40 flat rate shipping anywhere in the country. Hey, there's a payment plan on the bright side.
You have to have a payment plan. Will be available. Expected delivery Q1 of 2022. So that could go all the way to March of 2022. So let's talk about the good here, and then we'll talk about the, oh my god, who can afford this? It looks incredible, like the sheer scale. I mean, the shot of Lino like on top, I mean, like, it's just incredible.
It's crazy to look at that. You know, you look at that the first time and your mind tells you, you know, that's like a 4-inch scale figure,
right? Yes.
you know. Yeah. But then, like, you tell yourself, no, that's the Lino, that's the Ultimates one. It's going to be gigantic, giant, you know. And how would you push that? Or, you know, I think of it like when I was a kid, you know, trying to push that thing around the floor, you know. It's like it needs to have power, or, you know, you could ride on it. Maybe it's like a pedal car. It's huge. It needs to have
But again, here. I mean, this is let's stop screen. But here, this is not it's a 7-inch scale figure. It's a meaty, chunky figure, and that it looks small on top of that, the front of the Thundertank.
And you can barely see Panthro is sitting in the driver's seat. His head is just poking out.
So yeah, I think it looks great. And then I think I took a couple of screenshots from Pixel Dan's video, but I didn't do too many because again, it's his video. I want to make sure people are checking out from his page. But just a couple, just as they were showing the scale. But I guess he kind of did it where it could be basically 4 Thunder Tanks plus even more space in terms of the footprint of this thing, which was nuts. And then again, just seeing all the space in the back. So you have like the gun that's there that kind of connects and will pop up. But then you had 4 extra seats. So like everybody's going to be able to fit in this thing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
You know what? It kind of bums me out that they don't have masters anymore because that's an ideal size for the Filmation attack track.
Yeah.
And that's what I want the most.
Yep. And that's I saw people commenting about that.
And when we talked about that prior, it's like, all right, you need room for Battle Cat and you need room for at least 3 figures in the back, 2 up front, and there it is. They've done it.
Yeah.
But it's a Thundertank.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So yeah, it's crazy. And I think that kind of goes kind of hand in hand with I guess my biggest question about this set is the Thunder Tank the right one to do this with? And it's not that I don't think the Thunder Tank is great. I love the Thunder Tank. It's one of the essential 80s vehicles. But they have the Turtles license. Like, wouldn't the Party Wagon have been probably a better slam dunk to do for your first vehicle and kind of get guaranteed money, all that kind of stuff, and then maybe go to Thunder Tank? Or what do you think the kind of business logic here is to choose Thunder Tank first as their first 7-inch scale vehicle?
Well, first, I definitely agree. I think the Thunder Tank is tough for a first one. But the Party Wagon would have been perfect for a first one. But maybe Bryan, if anybody watched the video, Bryan broke down and essentially the cost to build this. And, he didn't say we need to sell X amount of units, but this is exactly how much it's going to cost just to make the tooling.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know if the rights for Thundercats, I don't know who holds that right now, but maybe to make
Brothers, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe the rights, the percentage that they have to pay out to use the Thundercats license is much less than what Turtles is.
You're right.
So the cost per unit, if it's it's $10 per that they would have to get back in rights. Compared to what Turtles might be $20. But I think the Turtles, a vehicle from the Turtles, would be more successful or better chance of success for a project to go through, because this isn't a done deal.
Yeah,
this still needs to make so much money before it can get made.
Yep. Yeah. And I think because even in the video, he's talking about like he hopes that there's enough big Thundercats fans that have $450 to spend to make it possible. And it's a big risk, I think, because to do this prototype, I'm sure wasn't cheap, and so it is a big roll of the dice. But I think that's a really good point to make, John, about maybe the licensing is just different. Maybe their cost per unit is a better scale than TMNT, because that might be a double payment, right? They probably have to pay Nickelodeon and then pay Playmates, right? Because don't all the figures kind of have to go through the Playmates licensing and to pay Playmates and also pay Nickelodeon or something like that?
I think so. And Peter Laird, right?
I thought he sold his shares of TMNT.
I thought Laird was the only one involved now. I thought Kevin Eastman sold his.
Okay, I thought one of them sold them to one, and then that guy sold it all to TMNT.
Yeah, well, one or the other, but I think one of them still gets a cut as well. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's just so expensive, or maybe more expensive, more cost prohibitive in that space so they went with this one first.
Yeah.
And not knocking the move here, because I think it is an iconic vehicle. But I'm just trying to think of, I want this to be successful. I don't know how they made money, if any, on Snake Mountain at $600.
Yeah.
No way. Maybe I don't know.
I think they did. I think they did pretty well on Snake Mountain.
Really?
Yeah. Just listening to the interview with Bryan and talking about the tooling on Snake Mountain, even though it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
The molds for that are absolutely giant. It was cheaper to do that than it will be for this Thundertank, because they essentially just built an outer shell.
Yeah.
Or just had to mold a shell, because the inside was it didn't really look like matter what the inside of Snake Mountain looked like, because it was more on the outside.
Yeah.
But with the Thundertank, it's the inside and the outside. For each exterior piece, you have a mold for the inside too, because even where it assembles and screws together, all that has to be figured in, all that engineering and structure and support. So it's like there's going to be, I bet there's going to be, 50 different steel tools for this.
Yeah.
At least.
Which again, like, I understand they price it to where they have to price it. I'm sure they would know that doing it for less than that, they'd sell more, but whatever they set at, they probably had to set it at that. Super7 is not a big toy company putting out tens of thousands on toy shelves. But it still stings. Let's go to the chat a little bit. Again, just kind of keeping up with it. A lot of people think it's really cool and ambitious, but a lot of people have some of the same concerns that I have, just in terms of the cost. Unagi says it's huge. It absolutely is. That's what she said. Master Hoarder, it's a beautiful tank for sure. BBTS will get it right. Should be cheaper shipping them. Exactly. That's where I'm kind of curious if a BBTS or Entertainment Earth, because those you generally don't pay till it ships. I'd much rather be in that situation than have almost half a grand put into something that you won't even see until next year at the earliest. That's a lot of money to put down now for something you're not going to see. In most cases, it's a pre-order situation where you're paying the money and then, you'll maybe do a little down payment, and then you pay it when it actually comes out. Alan, $450 exactly. Ghost have I paid close to $700 for the Hot Toys tumbler. While I like the Thunder Tank, it's not worth the money, in my opinion. Hot Toys, it's funny how I think the tumbler and the DeLorean, like the first time machine, those are in like $500, $650. Even though second market, those are in the thousands of dollars now. But it is funny how quickly the price of things have gone up. And I remember when we were talking about Razor Crest, I was like, $350. Oh my God. And that's where I was kind of thinking $350 was going to be the price here. I was like, well, $350, it's a 7-inch scale. It's a more, I think, a more iconic vehicle. It'll look amazing on a shelf. But $450, I feel like it's $100, and that $100 hurts in my mind.
Yeah.
Fetz says only $450 for a gray box. What a steal! Alan says insane. Jager says I'm more curious about the Super 7 Power Rangers. We'll talk about that after this. Jay Nagi, Dan actually posted another interview today with Bryan talking about the other reveals. Yes, he did. Alan said we can get Hot Toys for that money. Indeed, like one Hot Toy is like $250, somewhere around there. Ray Belmont says I just can't. I'd love to have a Thunder Tank, as I missed out on one as a child. But for that price, it would need to be 1, made from die-cast metal, 2, remote controllable, 3, Bluetooth enabled, featuring the voice of Panthro, and able to clean the house and perhaps swap the dog for good measure. I can't disagree with you. Peter Deb says Super 7 is very ambitious. Exactly. That's where I want to encourage this level of ambition. Like this is not a gigantic toy company. It's made for people that are passionate about toys. Bryan on down, just a lot of people that are really cool and really passionate about pop culture and toy culture, and you would need passionate people to do this because it's a big risk and it's very ambitious. So like there's a part of me that wants to be like, yes, this is amazing, let's push for this. But then there's just the real life part of me. It's like, how can enough people afford to buy this? And I worry about that. Ghost agrees, it looks amazing, but it's $100 too high. Gamaliel says way too expensive even for Super7 standards. It's huge and amazing, but doesn't require a complex paint job. Well, I think John said, I think it's all the tooling, all the different steel cast tooling that'll have to be used to make a movable vehicle, right? It's not just a static brick, even though that it can do because it's so big.
Yeah, I mean, if he made it look, if it was just a shell that looked like something that was vacuum formed, you know, it probably could be like $150. But then when everybody had that, they're like, oh, I wish I would have just paid extra to have one with moving tracks and you know, it was operable.
Ghost Sav says, I know it's apples to oranges, but how much was the Unicron? Thomas says Unicron was $575, which is starting to ship now. I know, I saw the picture of the boxes. Caesar says, the fact that Super7 is doing this gives me great hope for the Ultimates turtle van. I would love a party wagon. If they're doing this, I want a party wagon. If me purchasing this guarantees they'll do a party wagon, I will purchase this. That's how much I really would hope to get a party wagon. Because then I would really, in my closet, I'd make like a big shelf area, and I'll get some more He-Man to go with and do a couple of vehicles, have the Thundercats with the vehicles, have the Turtles with the vehicles. Then it's just like, then it becomes a far more compelling display in that scenario. That's how I just think. I mean, if you've seen my wall over here, like I like different scales of things. I think that's more compelling than just figures on figures on figures on figures on figures.
But imagine the shelf that you need for this. It's more of a coffee table piece.
Or 27 inches long and 7, like the thing is, the shelves that I have here, I think are 20 or 22 inches deep. So I would probably be able to do the same length in the closet display area. So if I could 27 inches, I could probably put it on its side and it would fit on a shelf.
Or like maybe put it up on an angle, so you're almost looking at the top of it a little bit.
And if I can do it like in the raised position as well with the claws up, maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at the original Thundertank I have now. We'll
cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but that's the thought. This is why we need fully articulated 3 3/4 inch figures to make a comeback. I just don't have enough room for all these supersized vehicles. I already have the sail barge and pre-ordered the Razor Crest. Yeah, I mean, that was why 3 3/4 inch became the de facto standard in the late 70s, early 90s. Is all the vehicles you could do with it. I mean, in that era, the figures were the accessories to the vehicles. Just wait for McFarlane to put out the Batmobile in 1/12 scale for $30, and at your Walmart $5.
I know. I'll let you guys know when it comes in. Hit me up.
Man, I hope McFarlane does a Batmobile. I have the Bat Pod thing they did. It was awesome. So I'd love to see something in a bigger scale. Let's see. Super7 overpriced everything. Again, I think they do smaller runs, so that's what they kind of go for. Ghosts have Razor Crest only 350 because it blows up at the Jay says their TMNT figures are worth their price. I agree. I absolutely love Super7's TMNT Ultimates line. It is everything I'd want out of a MOTU Classics Descendant line for Turtles. And again, they're bigger, they are big figures, and the beasts are even bigger, and they're just amazing. Solo 619er, that's just a prototype. Just wait for the final progress. It's going to be $450 more. Awesome. I hope so. Jason says Super7 should do the Power Rangers Command Center and Turtle Sewer. Again, I guess if play sets are cheaper than vehicles by Bryan's logic that he shared in that video, then so be it. Party wagon will be just as expensive or more, maybe, but it's a simpler design. It's just a car with 4 wheels. This has the raising arms and but again, I guess if you're doing the fold out, there's a lot of ways you could go about it. Probably expensive. Ray says, Nina in the garage. Indeed. Let's see. The original Thundertank with the original tracks is going for over $400 on eBay. Is it really?
Yeah, it's crazy expensive now with intact tracks.
Mine are intact, but it's rubber, so who knows? That's my thing with like anything with rubber is like, sure, it's intact now, but it's not going to be forever. I hate to break it to people with original. I have an original one with tracks, and I am fully in understanding that it just from sitting there is going to eventually.
Yep.
It's just going to happen. But they do make good repro tracks for those though. Now it says, I just don't have room for this kind of huge vehicle. Yeah, I think it's good. Listen, I think Super 7 knows all of the caveats to this. And they think it's a possibility, and I really hope they're successful. Do I get it or not? I don't know. But I do really hope they're successful because I think it takes a lot to kind of go out on a limb and do something like this that, out of all the 80s properties and 80s vehicles, yes, Thundertank is up there, but there's a couple others they probably could have done that have been more of a slam dunk shoe-in, I think.
Yep.
What's your final thoughts before we move on?
I give him credit for even attempting this, because it's not only the fact that they don't even know it's going to get made. They've already put out the cash to have this thing designed. This prototype just didn't come from nowhere.
Yep.
I assume the Four Horsemen worked on this. I assume, maybe Nate and Axel could have had a little bit of design, work into this. So there's already plenty of money put into this, just to essentially make an advertisement. So I'm hoping it is successful so we can get some other vehicles. I know this is the testing ground. Yeah. I'm hoping that if, fingers crossed this doesn't fail. Yeah. But if it does, I hope it doesn't sour the entire idea of making vehicles. I just hope that they would just move on to the next one and say, let's try Party Wagon. Yeah.
I agree. But they've been successful. They've started from very little things and they've expanded so much. They have a great relationship with Hasbro and sharing that license. So I'm going to assume they know what they're doing, and we'll kind of see what happens from there. Alan says, I'm new to this channel. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Alan. Great. Glad to have new people joining the show. It's definitely on my dream list for 2021. I agree. Like, I would really like to have this. Unagi says, I'm at the point where if I don't jump on it now, I'll look at the $1,000 aftermarket price next year and regret not pulling. It's kind of the toy market, the secondary toy market. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's full of regretful buyers, and they pay, double the price once it's actually in hand.
I mean, look at the Crystal Skeletor.
Yeah.
What, quintupled in price?
And it's not like it sold out immediately. It took
it hung around for a few days.
Yeah.
Ronoff, the figure head, said $450 space out over a year isn't all that bad. Just need to start having instant ramen for dinner. Hey, listen, I get it. The difference for me as a geek dad, I got young children to feed and send to school and all that kind of stuff. So I wish I had that option just to like rein in and then have it. So it's just, I got to find other things to sell to make money to buy the other stuff. Master Hoarder says pre-orders open for 2 months. That's a long time indeed. Maybe, okay, if the old Thundertank is selling for as much as the new one's going to be, no, I'm not going to sell the old one. I'll never find it again for that kind of. I think Colleen got it for me as a birthday gift, I think. Chromag Toys had one it was $80, complete unbroken treads. But again, to anybody that has unbroken treads out there, good for you. I have it as well, but it's coming. It's coming for you. I'm trying to prepare you now. It will break just like any O-ringed G.I. Joe or rubber-legged MOTU figure. It's going to disintegrate and break eventually.
Doesn't matter if they carded or not. The day will come.
The day will come, my friends. Unagi, it's 2 months. That makes it even easier to make this decision. Yeah, it's a long time. We'll have a long time. And we'll talk about it, I'm sure, on this channel. And we'll go from there. All right. We've talked a lot about the Thundertank. Again, there's a lot to talk about. But let's move it on here. Let's talk about some of the other things they unveiled. I'm not gonna call out all of them, but just some of the interesting ones. So the next generation, it seems to be only a reaction line. When we talked about it last week, when we had this teaser image, we almost said anything but a reaction line, mainly because you can find this guy here, Clockwork Joe, says what we said. How you're going to compete with 90s Playmates figures? You can still pick them up for $5 to $10 carded, and that's high $5 to $10. I think it's more like $2 to $5.
Yeah,
you can find just boxes of carded figures at toy shows. And I think the Playmates line is a great line. I think it holds up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It's perfect 90s. It's perfect 90s design into figures.
Yep.
And when we talked about it, we said it's got to be Ultimates. It has to be something outside of a 4-inch or a 5-point of articulation figure, because the proof is in the pudding. They're cheap. They don't sell. It's got to be something better. And here it is.
We'll see. They could prove us wrong, but the reaction figures are a little pricey. They're like $15. I've seen the Back to the Future 2 ones. They look great, but $15, $17. Like, that's just too much for a 5 POA figure for me. Not when you can get a MOTU Origins for $15,
right?
Or one of these amazing Leonard 7-inch scale, highly articulated figures for a nickel. Anywho, so there was that, and then we had the Transformers Ultimate. So it's almost like a flip of, like, I would prefer generations or next generation figures in Ultimate scale, but we're getting these Transformers figures, and Hasbro just did the Transformers Red, and maybe they're bailing out on it because this is kind of the same idea a little bit, maybe a little bit more detailed. But I don't dig the sculpts at all.
I don't either.
They look cheap.
Yeah, so far the two on the bottom, they look like Action Masters, like was it late 80s or early 90s Transformers series Action Masters? It's exactly what they look like. They got the color spot on. That Ghost Starscream, it looks more like there was I don't know what they are, but they were non-transformable, like 5 POA Transformers figures that just sold. They were like in a loose open top box, at Walmart or Target, and it looks kind of like that. I don't feel these at all.
Yeah, and maybe they are for some people. I guess if you're trying to go for the cartoon look, but I think if you're doing Ultimates, like it's like doing He-Man, but leading with the Filmation designs when. You have the Horseman in your stable. You can do some really cool 7-inch scale collector, just non-transforming figures. And again, it might be how they're sharing the license with Hasbro. They may not have had that much influence to this decision. I get that, but just for me, it's gonna be a pass.
Yeah, especially if the red line continues. It's like, do I spend 20 or 50, 55?
Yeah. And I still have an open mind. I plan to review them at some point, but life. Super7 Power Rangers. Interesting, they're doing an Ultimates line when you have the Lightning collection. It's very interesting. Hasbro was cool with allowing that close of a scale to happen at the same time.
Yeah. I'm wondering, are they creating a new buck for these? Because so far, the majority of Ultimates figures have been like, the He-Man style buck, where it was, Toxic Crusaders, the Conan figures, everything that uses that style body.
Or the most classics, like it's from that lineage.
Yep. Are they creating a new buck? Because honestly, Power Rangers, the Ranger figures in that buck will look ridiculous. It's it's like 1995 Luke Skywalker all over again. The monsters wouldn't look bad in that buck.
Sure.
But maybe this is their, jump into a new body design that they really haven't, attempted before.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, no images or anything, so I have to see what they're going to plan. But again, I'm sticking to what I wanted last week. I really want a Panos Place style Megazord with the reaction style figures that can fit in the Megazord. That's what I want, Super 7. You can totally steal it. This is royalty free. Steal the idea. Just give me one. That's all I ask for. And the last one I want to talk about, but Silverhawks, we knew it was coming. No images though.
Nope.
But at least we know for sure. And they have some like cups and shirts and pennants and stuff, which is neat. But they got the license. This is one that kind of fits in the MOTU classic style world. Yep. It'll look nice with the your MOTU classics, your Thundercats Ultimates, your TMNT Ultimates. And I think it'll look really nice as part of that collection. But just we haven't seen images yet, but it is really exciting. I think you talked a lot about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go. Super7, a lot of really, I mean, even more stuff. Definitely check it out. We'll see how it all pans out over time. But let's go to the chat, see what you all are thinking here. And I think I saw somebody say Bryan said the other skills for TNG were already taken. So that's what it's kind of left with. Todd Smith makes a good call out reaction. TNG fits with the Kenner Star Wars shelf. So there is that.
Yep.
But wasn't the first before Playmates got it? Was it Galoob?
Yeah, Galoob had next gen.
Yeah, and weren't those are 4 inches or 3.5, 3 3/4,
yep.
Right?
Yep, and they're still a dime a dozen. Those are super cheap
things. Yeah. Let's see. Unagi says I missed out on the first wave of TMNT and ended up paying almost double for most of the line. But at least it's early enough to where I could get the rest pre-ordered for MSRP. Agreed. Ray Belmont agreed. Jay, I don't understand the price structure on reaction. Again, I think it's just a smaller run, so that's what they have to charge, But still, that's just like for me, with the money, I'm not gonna spend $15 on a 5 POA figure. If they go clearance and it's like $10, then maybe absolutely. Unagi said their figures hold value well. Yes, they do. Enrique says red sucks. I haven't opened it yet, but it doesn't look promising. And I've heard many similar opinions. Who else has a TNG Ultimate style license? Didn't McFarlane have it for a second? And I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore.
Maybe he still does. I'm not sure.
Not doing anything with it.
The last 7-inch Star Trek I remember is Diamond doing. They did Spock and a couple others maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe just somebody has the license and they're not doing anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Classic action figures. Do these even have waist articulation? It doesn't look like it, right? It just looks like a brick. But it's like early images, so I would assume it has to have. And there's no ab crunch. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't look like an Ultimates figure to me.
No, not at all. I mean, the packaging looks cool.
Sure. But I'm not going to spend $50 on that.
No. Nope.
Let's see. I opened the one red figure Soundwave and ended up returning the whole wave. Wasn't a fan. Nightmare says Bryan said that they Banzai-tron is designed based on the Action Master figure.
Makes sense.
Master Horse says I don't understand the concept of Ultimates Transformers. Master, you aren't alone. I don't get the strategy of releasing stuff that Hasbro is already doing. Couldn't they give us Mask and Humanoids or Visionaries instead? That's a really great call out, CAF.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really great call out because God, Visionaries as an Ultimates line.
That would be insane.
Right? That'd be awesome.
Holograms are hard to do, though. I think that's one reason they don't do figures like that anymore.
Was the technology lost decades ago?
No, holograms used to be a ton of work because, like, so say one of the Visionaries figures, he has like the lion picture on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
They actually sculpted a lion and then photographed it. That's how holograms worked.
What?
So every hologram that's on the chest and the shield was something that was actually sculpted to take a picture of, and that's why it looks 3-dimensional.
Holy moly!
So holograms, back in the 80s when they were like super popular with, Battle Beasts and all that, although those were just little, the fire and the wood and the water pictures. Yeah. But Visionaries were so in depth on their holograms, an absolute ton of work went into making them. So it's like you're sculpting something that you're essentially just going to have a picture of with the figure.
That's crazy. Well, then maybe they won't do it, but it'd be really cool.
It would be. I'm sure it's easier now. I imagine technology's come a long way for holograms.
And maybe they won't do masks if vehicles cost that much now. But it'd be cool to get figures, you know, like 7-inch scale. Like all we got are the little guys. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
all we got are these versions of the characters. Like
T-Bob can double as a vehicle.
Lightning Collection is awesome. Yeah, I think Lightning Collection is great. I've been picking up the MMPR figures. I think they look great for $19, $19.99, $20.
Yep.
I'm good. That's fine. I still love the vintage ones. I have all those. And if I want highly articulated ones, $20 retail and they look really good. I'm good. You know, I 1-inch scale bigger. And how are they going to do that? Yeah, that's see how they see it or see how they do it. Silverhawks need Black Star and Thundar. Agreed. There's just so many properties. Again, CAF, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of Hasbro stuff they could pull out that Hasbro probably never do because they don't have the time and they don't care. I mean, because Hasbro is off, you know, loading off a lot of their IP to other companies. The Micro Machines is not done by Hasbro. It's done by, wow, I don't remember what, not Jada. Some other companies doing Micro Machines. They don't do Tonka anymore. They offload that to another company. My Little Pony, like so much of their IP, they're given to other companies. Which is, I guess, sad, but I guess if the company that's taking it is going to do well, then so be it. And then Ultimate's prices are increasing to $55. That's, whew.
Yeah, production costs, everything's going up.
Centurion's Ultimates line. I think there's another company doing kind of third-party Centurions, but official Centurions? Whew. Pretty excited for the Godzilla Ultimates. Yes, I even show that here. They did announce Godzilla Ultimates. We'll see. I think it's good if, I think we've talked about this before, if they're doing some of the other kaijus, because NECA's pretty much got the full Godzilla spectrum covered.
Yep.
But anywho, give us killer holograms. I love those things. I agree, Ray. Love Battle Beasts. Here we go. I got one right here. I always have a Battle Beast ready to go just in case I need to be ready for a battle. Endlander says, speaking of holograms, what about some Ultimates gem and the holograms? I was just thinking about that. Gem would be great. I think it, you know, the gem stuff is really pricey.
Yeah.
Team Honda brings it up again. California Raisin. I will say it every chance I get. And Alan says, I would like the Exo Squad toys to return. I love Exo Squad.
Me too. I love it.
That'd be a cool, like, Glyos kind of small run line or something like that. Maybe. I don't know.
It would be. You know, I think Exo Squad is right up Leonard's Ave because they did that. They did the that power loader suit, that alien suit in the box set. I bet that they would do real well with Exo Squad.
If they can do this,
for
-$5, I want to see him do it. Leonard, if you're listening, do it. All right. Other news. Germany had some sweet He-Man reveals. And they have these like paintable miniatures, and like you mentioned this, King Hiss on Tyrannosaurus. I am not talented enough to make this look good with paint, but for those that are,
it looks good without paint.
It does,
but they are Europe only. They are not for sale in the US. It's terrible. This whole game. I mean, She-Ra on Swiftwind looks incredible.
You can find all of those on planeteternia.de. Looks cool. Looks really, really cool. I mean, listen, usually it's the States that gets all the cool stuff and everybody else has to like import it and stuff like that. But for the MOTU fans, they've been hitting Europe a lot earlier and they're getting more stuff than the stateside. So there you go. Toy Shiz, friend of the show, got to unveil, have exclusive images. And it was kind of cool. They gave it to Pixel Dan and I think Stardust Prime and a couple others, kind of unveil all the different or the new sets of retro 3 3/4 inch figures, the Kenner retro Marvel Legends. I kind of dropped the Secret Wars moniker. It's neat, but I said it last time. I'll say it this time. I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. They're missing an opportunity to do these Marvel figures as superpowers style figures. You have the Kenner name. You can make them Kenner superpowers style, and you can come up with a cool superpowers-esque logo that's Marvel. And you don't have to do action features, but God, just do that because you need to do it.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised they're doing another wave of these.
I can't believe they've done enough. So, CAF says, I do like these Marvel Legends figures and the price is right. I haven't seen them in the wild yet. I mean, it's cool. I love the 5 POA 3 3/4 inch movement. I love the retro style stuff. But again, if you're going to slap a Kenner name on a superhero 80s style action figure, you got to go superpowers. Just do it. Own it. Own it. Hasbro's Fan First Friday event. Not as big as I thought it was going to be. I felt like it was building up to something even more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I did really dig the reintroduction of the episode 1 card back. I think they've done a couple already. But I missed out on Qui-Gon Jinn. I could never find Qui-Gon Jinn. So to have another shot at Qui-Gon Jinn will be neat. So I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, I might pick up Jar Jar on this card back.
Yeah, I already got Jar Jar. I'm kind of bummed because he's really cool on this card back. It's the same figure. I think mine came with a shield, even though I don't even use it. Whatever. But I think I said it in my Instagram post about this. Like, Jar Jar's a goofball. Jar Jar's comedic relief.
Mm-hmm.
When did he ever have a serious face like this? Like, it looks great. It's a great sculpt, but I want him doing something stupid or something. It's just that's part of his character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Jar Jar. I think my kids love Jar Jar, so he does what he's supposed to do. He's comedic relief. So just lean into it.
Jar Jar saving that serious face for his Senate robe outfit.
Exactly, because once he's there, he's at Padme's funeral. Spoiler alert. He has a serious face, but this is episode 1. This is episode 1. Jar Jar. He's a lot sillier. And they haven't been very heavy on vintage collection, but I absolutely love this Clone Wars Darth Maul, as well as Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano. Really pumped for these two figures. Again, I don't know this. I think that is his look. So you can basically set them up as their amazing lightsaber duel. It's one of the best lightsaber duels in Star Wars, live action or animated. They use mocap on Ray Park. So like the lightsaber fight is Ray Park being Darth Maul for the last time because of Ray Park's issues. If you don't know, I'm not going to say it. But anywho, so really cool that they're doing these figures. And then last bit of toy things here, Fortnite G.I. Joe collab for Snake Eyes. I'm old. I don't play Fortnite, but this figure looks freaking cool. I pre-ordered it. You can pre-order it right now. I don't know how long they're keeping pre-orders open, but there's a link down in the description below. Right now, you can pre-order this figure, $39.99. And whenever it does come around, this thing will be like $150 or whatever. So, just think of it as an investment opportunity if you don't end up wanting it. But I think it looks great. I love it. To me, this looks way better than the other exclusive Snake Eyes that they came out with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It looks good. I'm probably not going to get it, even as an investment opportunity, because maybe it'll go sideways. But I got my Snake Eyes. That's going to be the one that I just stick with. Just the regular release.
Fortnite accessories, I could care less. But the stuff that matters, and again, I have the normal release Snake Eyes, so I can combine them both and kind of get my best Snake Eyes.
Yep.
I think he looks great. I think it looks absolutely fantastic.
I mean, you can use the painted weapons for your other Joe figures, for your other Joe classified figures, seeing as how those are just, solid molds.
Mm-hmm. Or, I just sell the accessories. Maybe someone would buy them online. I don't know. If I could sell the accessories and make back most of this $39, then I'd do that. I'd do that. All right. And one last bit of news, and we'll go back to the chat. Toys R Us, it's on Toy News I have the link in the description below, is closing its 2 stores a year after opening. COVID shut them down. So I was actually kind of shocked they lasted this long, because once kind of COVID hit, and I was like, oh man, those Toys R Us aren't going to make it. And they were going for a very experiential type of store, just kind of setting up these cool experiences for kids, but it was all very interactive, using your hands to touch things and stuff like that, and it just was not going to fly in a pandemic universe. So they're going back to the drawing board. TRU Kids Inc. still exists, so we'll see if they come out with something else. But the toy industry is still broken because of the hole that Toys R Us has left behind. And, you know, Hasbro and Mattel, they need to do what the big networks did with Hulu. They just need to like band together and create an actual Toys R Us replacement.
Yep.
And just have everybody kind of be part owners, like a co-op kind of thing, and make a real toy store again.
Yeah. Have it like shared ownership. So all that, the stuff that actually closed Toys R Us, you know, all that, you know, bad check writing and everything. They weren't covering their costs. You know, just get all that out of the way. Shared ownership, it'll work.
Because Toys R Us would still be here if not for Bain Capital or whatever that was. It Bain Capital? Who bought them out?
Maybe I don't remember, but yeah,
one of those a-holes that hopefully is getting screwed over by GameStop stuff. But they would have been fine. Like, sure, you don't sell as many, but they did make a lot of money. It was all the debt that they were saddled with when they got all of their equity sucked out of them for that buyout. So they didn't fail because they weren't making money. They failed because of the insane debt that was on their ledgers.
Yep.
So to me, that like just whoever is going to do it, whoever has to do it, like do it. I know I don't have a solution there. Just do it. I need to have the Shia LaBeouf. Do it. Yeah. Thing. Anywho, all right, let's check into the chat. Let's see. CAF, Bain Capital, Mint Ramen. Yes. And I saw there's a band called Rit Momney. What's the name of the band? I was like, okay. Jacob says Toys R Us alone makes it worth moving to Canada. Agreed. Jay Griffith says already tired of Snake. We've only had 2, right? Don't get disillusioned too soon, Jay. Hang in there. CF says I got one too. PD Dubs got one. I pre-ordered one. T Ponder says I think I'm the only person who can't stand Star Wars. Listen, Star Wars is flawed, but it has this thing about it that makes it really special. PD Dubs, wait, pad me, guys. Again, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Spoiler. That was in the original series. That's right. Yeah. Oh man. I want superpowers. It's 3.5-inch. Always did. I like the larger scale. Is it 4-inch for superpowers? I like it. I like the superpowers. Those are Best Buy exclusives. The pre-orders are up now to the Marvel Legends stuff. But anywho, yeah. Oh, old school. Where were you? Missing a. That's right. The snow is hitting up the northwest.
Yep.
Or northeast. Sorry. No, I grew up. I was born and raised in San Diego, and learning directions as a kid through like when I learned how to drive and everything. The ocean was to the west. So I lived in the East Coast longer, but it's still just instinctually in my mind that the ocean is west, and I'm like, no, it's east. East here.
It's both. It is both. It just takes a lot longer to get there west.
Yeah, like when you're learning how to drive in Southern California, you kind of know like, oh, west is the beach, and then is inland. And so again, I'm good with directions, but just like instinctually in my head, it's just so programmed in my brain that even though I've lived on the East Coast for nearly 20 years now, it's still like this is I first think it like, oh yeah, northwest. Nope, northeast. Idiot. Anywho. Yes. Chicago has gotten a blizzard too. Yeah, it's cold here. We had a smidge of snow a couple days ago, but now it's rain. It's been a miserable rainy day in North Carolina.
Gross.
If I could, I would relocate from Pennsylvania ASAP. Hey, old school, check out the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham area. It's a great place to live. Great job market. Good housing. House living. It's great. All right. Just a couple little things. I did want to share Shannon's custom Scareglow before we close things out today. Make sure I open this up. Here we go. So he did a 3D printed kind of upsize Scareglow that he painted himself.
Damn.
And it turned out great.
That looks awesome.
Like I gotta give him kudos.
Is it articulated at the shoulders and the head?
Yep, articulated shoulders and head. They said the original for the hips it was too tight, didn't really work right. So then he did the old fix with the
with O-rings and the eye hooks.
And the eye hooks. He did that with the figure, and he says it works very much like an original Scareglow. But yeah, I think he did a fantastic job. I think just looks really, really good. I don't know I don't have a 3D printer, but he used glow in the dark. Let me pull this picture out as well. You're going to hear it hit my desktop. But let me stop share screen. It also glows in the dark. Where is it at? Where is he? There we go. And yeah, now it doesn't shine as bright as the MOTU Origins one, but still for a custom kind of figure, 3D printed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. I mean, it looks production,
right? So, yeah, and again, like if I did 3D printed, it would look way worse than that, and the paint would look way worse. So, Shannon, kudos for fantastic work. That came out great for a 3D printer. I agree. It looks like an upsized version of the figure. Like that's just fantastic. And I love how the paint they did on the boots, like they look like the type of paint that would be on the figure.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Old school, that's very cool. Yeah. So it was really neat. I thought that turned out really, really good.
I wonder if he's going to do any more. Shannon, what's next?
Exactly.
What is next?
Here he's in the chat right now. There you go. Thanks for the shout out. Well, great work, Shannon. I didn't know you had it in you.
He needs to print the big Hal Baird staff.
Yep. And I need a hand stitch cloak, Shannon. Hand stitch. I want to see the little stitches. Ghost Sav says I would pay $450 for that. Well, hey, look at that. There you go, Shannon. Your first order. I have the staff printed. Okay, well, we got next week. Give us an update. Staff with the hand stitched cloak.
That's awesome.
And, Shannon is a friend of John I's. He is a toy dealer in the area. And it says $450. It's his deal.
With or without a cape? Is the cape coming?
Sorry, it's Shannon. If he's dropping $450, you got to have hand stitched cape and the staff. Old School says, can we get a Scareglow centric spinoff movie or two? Absolutely, because Scareglow he's so legendary, he's so beloved, but he's so underrepresented in the media.
Mm-hmm. But it would need a campy intro with a theme song, very 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in, falls over the footstool in the living room.
He says, print a Thundertank, please, Shannon. Well, if he's charging $450 for a figure, I mean, I don't want to know what his 3D printed Thundertank is going to be. I don't want to know. Oh, man. All right. Well, that is it for this episode of Toy Geeks. Dick Fan Scareglow. Oh man. Shouldn't that would make us laugh.
I can just picture like him with a lady in bed and he flips the light off and all of a sudden he's glowing.
Oh my god. Anyway, if you came in late, when the show's like when we end it, go back and watch it again. We had a special cold open that John and I worked on. I was the voice of Skeletor and He-Man, and John was the voice of Beastman. That was a lot of fun. And if you really like it, if you thought it was really cool, and if the inspiration ever hits us again, make sure to let us know by hitting that like button. If you haven't done it yet, hit the like button. It's important. And if you haven't done already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you all next time. Until then, hasta luego and goodbye.